the Kraken! Today's video is sponsored by my friends at Skillshare. Good morning, duckaree-doos. You're still not a big fan of that ramp, huh? Everybody else seems to like it, but not my girl Jemima. Release the Kraken! Good morning, chickens! Alexander Hamilton, you've really snuck in with this group, huh? So lately I have been letting my teenage chickens go free, and as a result of that, what I've found is that Alexander Hamilton and Blanche and Dottie decided to join this flock versus stay with the other flock. It's kind of interesting to see them split off like that, but Alexander and General Washington definitely haven't been getting along lately. Of course, General Washington hasn't been getting along with anybody at this point. Just the other day, I saw him take on a flock of geese. The dude's like Chuck Norris if Chuck Norris was a rooster. Cluck Norris. But yeah, as you can see here, the little guys are starting to run free with everybody else. It's funny. Every time you add a new animal to the barnyard, it creates just a little bit of chaos with all the other animals. Isn't that right, geese? You don't know what to make of these tiny little aggressive chickens. But they have no fear. And you're much, much bigger. You know, a lot of folks have written to me over the last couple of years saying that they think our farm should be some sort of children's book. We have so many interesting animal characters wandering around here, and there's so many stories that seem to take place here on Goldshaw Farm that people would love to see a book written for kids all about what's happening here. And I've been trying to do that. A lot of you folks know that I've actually been working on a book about our farm. In fact, back in February of 2020, I took an entire month off from making videos for YouTube just so I could have time and concentrate and start writing a first draft. And surprisingly, I pretty much got through that first draft over the month. But then a problem arose. I started allowing perfection to be the enemy of good. Because once you write that first draft, you want to write a second draft. And once you write that second draft, you often want to work on a third draft. So here I am nearly 20 months later after completing that first draft, and I still don't have a children's book about my farm. And I really want to finish it, and I really think it's a good story, and I think a lot of folks are going to enjoy it. But I continue to allow perfect to be the enemy of good. And so I wanted to talk to you guys about this issue and sort of let you know what's going on, alongside give you an update of all the other things going on around the farm. Because I have a goal. I have a big, big goal where I want to finish this book and really share it with the world in the not too distant future. And so I'm gonna need some help in doing that. And I really don't want to have it come to me stopping making YouTube videos. And so instead of stopping, I want to actually take an opportunity in this video to spell some things out for you guys. And frankly, get some opinions. Because as a lot of you guys know, I've talked about this before, I do feel like you are all partners here with us at Goldshaw Farm. Some of you have been here since the earliest days when it was just me and Pablo Barncat. Some of you came when it was just me and chicken tractor full of 40 ducks. Some of you remember when we got our first geese or when Toby Dog showed up on the farm. As time's gone on, more and more of you have joined us for the adventure, but you're all really partners regardless of when you started with us. And so what I want to do today is actually tell you the story that I'm thinking about for this children's book and get your reactions down in the comments. And I know that this is a very unconventional way to try to complete a third draft, but we're gonna give this thing a shot. Let's go for it. For those who are looking to be caught up and saying, well, what's going on? What's this book all about? And like, what's the deal here? So the idea was this. I really wanted to write a children's novel. And like children's, I don't mean like a little kid's picture book. I mean like a book like Charlotte's Web, or a book like Redwall, or even like a book like the early Harry Potter books, where it's something that's like written for, you know, like a 9, 10, 11-year-old kid, and it tells the story of something that happened here on our farm. And specifically, that story is about Mr. Toby Dog, and when he first arrived here at Goldshaw Farm. Yeah, buddy, I think you're a superstar, kid. Yes, you are. If anybody ever meets Toby Dog, right here is his most favorite place to be pet and scratched. And so hang on, I will tell you guys point by point the plot of this story. But first I actually need to talk to you about my friends over at Skillshare who are sponsoring today's video. Because actually video sponsors and folks like Skillshare are part of how I plan on finishing this book. And in case you're wondering, I'm pretty sure that this book is gonna be self-published. I'm gonna be using some of the dollars that come from video partners like this one, where my friends at Skillshare are sponsoring the video, and I'm gonna take those dollars and actually use them to try to self-publish. But more on that in the moment.
So let me take a moment and tell you guys about Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people. Explore new skills, develop existing interests, and get lost in creativity. It's curated specifically for learning, meaning there are no ads and they're always launching new premium classes so you can stay focused and follow wherever your creativity takes you. Whether you're a dabbler or a pro, a hobbyist or a master, you are creative. Discover what you can make with classes at every skill level. You know, I recently took a Skillshare class from writer Ben Percy all about creating suspense in your creative writing. The class gave me some great ideas for this book I'm writing about Toby, and I finished the class ready and motivated to tackle my own creative writing project. You know, I've been finding that the Skillshare classes have been great because of the skills they teach me, but what I love even more is just how motivated I feel after I take a Skillshare course. And so if you want to have this great feeling too, what I'd strongly suggest is take advantage of this offer that's running right now. The first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description of this video will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare so you can start exploring your creativity today. As a lot of you guys know, I've been using Skillshare for a while now, and I really do recommend it to everybody, so go check it out.
Toby dog, are you rolling around in the mud?
Oh, you big galoot.
You know, he is such a goofball. Oh, Toby dog. All right, so let me explain to you guys the plot of this book and break it down for you point by point. Oh, wait, hang on a sec. I gotta do something first. Come on, Mother Goose. Up you go. Thank you. I think I'm only down to one goose that's laying an egg. And this one is definitely nice and fresh. I actually don't want her trying to hatch any eggs though because it's so late in the year. I mean, it was 42 degrees when I got out here this morning. If she tried to spend a month hatching this egg, 30 days from now, we could possibly even be getting some of our earliest snowfalls. And yeah, that wouldn't be good for goslings. Oh, Toby, you slobbered the lens. Ah. Okay, so here is the Toby Dog farm story. The book starts out on a farm, not our farm, but a farm up in Maine. It was actually the farm where Toby Dog was born, and it gives you a glimpse into some of his earliest days as a little puppy, being raised by his mom, being raised with his brothers and sisters, and just sort of sets up what his life's looking like. But then one day, this farmer shows up on Toby's mom's farm. I'm talking about this guy, and he takes Toby away from the farm. And as Toby leaves, he is so super sad. He misses his brothers and sisters, he misses his mother, but then he's very shortly brought to a whole new place, a place populated with ducks and geese and chickens and barn cats. And he's kind of fascinated by the new world that he's discovered. You know, his mom's always told him that one day he would have a farm of his own, and he's now realizing that this right here is his farm of his own. But the thing is, Toby doesn't exactly know what he needs to do. He doesn't quite know what his role is around the farm and what he's responsible for. He knows he wants to be the protector of the farm, but he doesn't quite know what it takes to be the protector of the farm. You know, he finds that the geese are rude to him, the barn cats are kind of surly, the ducks just quack and run away from him, and for the most part, he's starting to feel like an outcast. You know, he thinks the farmer guy is nice enough, but he also realizes that the farmer is not out here with him on the farm, and he knows that he's got some sort of job that he has to do around the farm. And the two barn cats that are around the farm, Pablo Barn Cat and Lil Barn Cat, they just kind of tease him and make fun of him and tell him that it's their farm, not his farm. And so the story winds on, there's a little bit of back and forth, some animal adventures, but eventually a problem strikes on the farm because there's a bobcat stalking the farm. This bobcat ends up killing a couple of ducks. And when those ducks are killed, Toby feels so guilty. He feels like it's his responsibility. He feels like it was his fault. And he really comes to this point of despair, really feeling like he has no clue what he should be doing. If this is his farm to protect, how can he even consider it his farm to protect if he can't protect the animals on the farm from the bobcats? At this point, he's a growing puppy who should be able to keep a bobcat away, and he thinks that it's expected of him to have more courage and to really own his domain. And so, sort of depressed, Toby and a skunk friend of his actually run off and escape the farm and go missing for a little while. Yeah, buddy, it talks about a time that you ran away from the farm. I know, it's kind of weird. You would never think of doing that now, would you? Because you know what it's like to be a protector of a farm at this point. Yes, you do. Now, I don't want to give it like every plot point and every little twist and turn because I don't want to ruin the story for you guys. But what comes down to it is this. Ultimately, Toby Dog and the barn cats have to work together. Yeah, you guys have to work together in order to protect the farm. And Toby starts to learn this important lesson that it's not so much about, you know, claiming to own something or claiming to be the one responsible for it, but it's so much more about the actions that you take that make you the one that's responsible for something. Actions speak louder than words, if you will. And so that right there is the story. As I say that right now, standing outside with you guys, I've been sort of struggling over the last couple weeks in trying to think about how to bring it all together. And I think I actually, just in talking to you guys, was able to do that. So I guess I will say to you guys, thank you for listening and thank you for helping me break through my writer's block a little bit. I'd be curious to hear what you guys think about it, get reactions, questions that it triggers, because I still have a lot of work to do to try to finish it up. But I really do want to finish it up. And to try to hold me accountable, I'm putting kind of a public challenge to myself out here and to all of you to really ask for help in holding me accountable. And that my goal is by springtime of next year that I have the book finished, meaning it's written and I've got like a final draft of it. You know, I nailed down finding an illustrator, which I've been, you know, wasting too much time on. And I have plans for a release date of some sort. So realistically, that means it probably will be finished in the spring, but then released, I don't know, in the fall. Of course, given my knowledge of the publishing industry, I could be way off here. But I would love to hear your reactions and your questions and all that good stuff down in the comments below. It would be super helpful to me. The plan would be I'd write this first book. If people like it, I actually have a whole bunch of other stories to tell. Specifically, I want to tell the story about Lil Barn Cat and the time she got hit by a car and what that meant for the farm as a whole. I think the Runner Ducks are a children's book unto themselves. So there's a lot of stories here at Goldshaw Farm, and I would love to tell them both in the format of a YouTube video, but then also in a format like a book. But I know I'm definitely getting well ahead of myself as I explain all of that, and I just got to get through this first one. I think the other thing I got to do is just figure out how to create more time for myself. It's one of the biggest things I'm struggling with right now. And I know I'm in sort of peak farm season with, you know, getting everything ready for winter and doing the last couple of projects and trying to get stuff built and settled. You know, I should also probably talk to you guys about what's going on with the cows, but I will do that in a very soon other video because that's a whole other saga unto itself. But yeah, there's so much going on at the farm. It makes it tough to get projects, passion projects in particular, like that book finished. But I really do want to do it because I think folks are going to enjoy it. And when I think about who I'm writing this for, it's for people who are of that age, 9, 10, 11, who might like our videos, or people who are kind of that mindset and heart and might be much older. And I really like sharing stories with folks. And I think people are going to like this story. Hey, Mr. Pablo Barn Cat, how are you doing? Molly, Jeannie. Uh-oh, those girls want to get fed. All right, I'll be with you in a minute. I just got to feed Toby Dog. Rosie's 3 little babies are getting pretty big. I mean, they're still small chicken size comparatively, but you know, it's been a very productive year for Rosie as a mom. She's had 6 kids survive so far. So you got those 3 little ones that are there. You also have that black chicken that just went in. That's one of her daughters. There's also that rooster that doesn't look anything like her right there in the corner. And then there's that other black one who looks all fluffy and floofy. It looks kind of like Penny, but I think she's a hen. Like I said, I'm actually working on a trade where I trade somebody Penny the rooster and he goes to another farm and we get a new rooster. That way everybody can breed together and we won't have any issues. I gotta still figure out what to do with this rooster. If anybody's interested, you know, I'd actually be happy to hook you up with a free rooster. So let me know. I would say probably the best way is message me through the website and we'll try to follow up as soon as we can. But yeah, that guy's gonna be looking for a home. And honestly, I would give him away for free if it's a good home.